Couple quick things before the podcast begins. Hey, it's Amanda from Leta Tap Styles of My Autistic Life. One, Michelle, Kristen, you are both equal. Now, you guys have both been on the podcast an equal amount of time. You all have my contact information. So whoever wants to, break the tie and come on the podcast first, I guess it's a race to see who comes on the podcast first. Yes, I am going to be milking Kristen's guest spot on Michelle's podcast for a while at least. Secondly, if you have not heard our guest today, Michelle Torrey, speak, Michelle is an amazing woman. She is a dear friend of both Leta and I. She's been so sweet, so kind, so caring. When we told her Autistic Wings was about to shut down, she called me up and went, let's get you in front of the camera and mic, and let's get you on my podcast for an emergency podcast right here, right now. Let's get the word out there that these kiddos need the support of the community, which we're still looking for donations for the nonprofit so we can keep our studio doors open. That donation link's in the description below, and I will do something on the end to talk a little bit about the studio. But for now, if you have not checked out Michelle's Thrive program, if you have not become part of her Thrive community on Facebook, if you have not checked out her Wisdom for Complex Kids, her coaching for parents, helping you figure out this new life of being a parent of a complex kid. And she is now starting to do advocacy work for 504s and IEPs. And she's a mom who's been through it, so she knows what you're supposed to have in there. And we all know that those school systems try really, really hard sometimes because they don't have the resources. They don't want to give them to the kids, and they're really hoping you don't know. We need to have her on for an entire IEP. But anyways, sit back, relax, enjoy this episode, and hopefully you learn something.
Hello, this is Rita, and this is me and my mommy's podcast, and then my mommy, and there's me, and I'm just talking about this stuff, and there's me tap dancing, because this is a tap dancing / autism podcast, and there's a bunch of animals, and I'll be trying to in my hair, and there's a bunch of sand in the ocean. Also, there's all the soul talk stuff. I love all my mentors and their babes. And also, yes, like life stuff and tap dancing. Oh, and also there are my boots. My boots are amazing. Also, there's me trying not to have a panic attack. Also, this is a podcast about me, autism, and tap dancing, and blah, blah, blah. I'm just ADHD in this thing. Also, there's my cute adorable puppies.
Let us get started, Leta.
Hey.
Sure.
Me, person.
She's coming along, Michelle, just trying to explain it. And she knows who you are.
Hi, I'm me. Okay.
You're the person. Her
Well,
new
I'm here.
intro is just...
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Her
Who
new
am
intro is
I?
this is me, this is mom, this is person.
There you go. Awesome.
Michelle, thanks again for coming on the podcast. We've got so much to talk to you about. We're going to do a second... This is third?
Three
This is what,
times.
fourth time. No, this is your fourth time.
It is the fourth time. It
yeah, because we had the
is.
whole ballet one that we need to do part 2 of later.
Yes, that's right. Oh my gosh.
You're losing track
But
here,
I love
Michelle.
being here. I love it. Because you know what, Amanda, like what you're doing is so awesome. And I love it that you and Leta are like just taking this whole dance thing to a different level. And I 100% support this. And I think that the good that you're doing in your area, like it's, karma is awesome. When you put it out there, things and I don't even know if I believe in that word, but when you put good things out in the world, good things happen to you. And that's what I truly believe. And I am so glad that I know you two ladies. I'm going to say Leta is a lady also, especially with her jewels that she has on right now.
She made them herself.
So she's even
You're
more
making me blush,
a
Michelle.
lady.
You're making me blush. I mean, you are doing
anyway.
amazing things with your podcast, with Thrive program, with all the coaching you're doing, and you are now an official advocate, which is amazing.
I know. So I decided after, I just turned really old, like in June. And it was your birthday just a few days ago, Amanda. Happy birthday. I missed it. It didn't
Don't
come up
worry
on my
about it.
Facebook, but happy birthday. But
It is
my
not
birthday
listed
was
on
in
my
June.
Facebook, so that's okay.
So that's why I didn't know. I just saw the people like the happy birthdays on your thing. I'm like, well, where did I miss? Anyway. So, yes. So I'm sorry, Leta.
She's saying I don't talk about my birthday, and it's all the political. Everyone you saw was all the politicos I know making fun of the fact that I don't talk about my birthday.
Oh, well,
We've been
I talk
friends
about
too
my
long.
birthday too much, I think, because I guess I'm pretty proud of being a mom of an 11-year-old at 49, and I literally went back to get to get an advocacy class, and I am seriously engaging in that now because I feel like there is a need. And there's a need for people who have been through it. I know that a lot of advocates out there are either special ed teachers or principals or whatever, but there's nothing like being a mom and an advocate, because that is what fuels you. And if you know the feeling of having someone not listen to you in an IEP, advocates need to understand and be a part of that. And so I'm excited. I'm excited that I'm doing this now, and that I've been doing these. I've been putting out these ads, and actually I will do this for everybody, all of your listeners, Amanda, if they would like to. What I've been doing is I've been doing these 30 to 45-minute calls. And what we do is we review where you are on your IEP. We review where you are in your journey with your child. And I'm going to give you like a 60 or 90-day plan on what it is that you need to do to move forward. So, do we need to get a reassessment on something? Do we need to get you a developmental pediatrician? We're going to sit down, we're going to talk about it, and I will give you a plan. And that's what I've been doing for a lot of the people. All of your listeners, they can reach out, and I will do that for them.
We will link that in the description below and put that on the website.
Perfect.
Speaking of IEPs, did you hear about the Supreme Court case ruling?
I know, huh? Did you see that?
I'm like,
what did you think?
I'm concerned about some of the parts of the dissent being used in future cases, obviously. But that does make it a little easier since you no longer have to prove they meant to, because how many teachers and school districts are like, oh, well, we just didn't mean to.
Yes. And I mean, I'll be honest, I think that it's going to be a lot easier to get people to see what is truly happening in special education, because there, and there's a need for that. We need to see what's happening, and it's not. It doesn't count if it's just like, well, I didn't mean to, like you said. It still counts. It still counts. You still did what you did.
Oh, yeah. And some of these cases, because we'll go off the autism right now, the number of school districts who are like, you can't have your cell phone on you when you have an insulin pump that's connected to that cell phone.
I know. There are so many things. And I feel like it's hard, right? Because you get caught in the middle, and there's good and there's bad. And some people are going to use this for the good. Other people are going to use it for the bad. And it messes everything up for the people who are using it for the good. And that's where part of the issue is.
I think this is also going to bring to light a lot of stuff because you know how many people don't want to go to the lawyers because they're told over and over, if you get the lawyers involved, bad things happen. A lot of the
Yes.
lawyers aren't as up to date on all the laws as they should be. I say
Did
that
you
having
know? Did you know 80% of the cases that go to due process are lost? The parents lose 80%.
I know. And the thing that always gets me is most of these lawyers don't specialize in special needs. They're not specializing in complex kids. They're your family lawyer. And it's like,
Well, yeah.
guys, or I've seen custody lawyers come into meetings and I'm like, sit down, shut up, and do not speak.
You know, what's interesting, Amanda, is that so that's one of the reasons why I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this advocacy thing. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not going back to school to be a lawyer. I will tell you that right now. I'm not going to be a lawyer. But I met a person who she the truest of truest special education. She goes by, she's the special education boss. Her name is Karen Cunningham. I don't know if you know her, but she is amazing. And I'm joining her master class coming up here soon. And there's no BSing. It's like, this
No.
is, it's clear. Like, we gotta do this right. And most of the time, if you have a good advocate, if you are a good advocate for your child, if you have a good advocate on your side, it won't get to due process, because you have to be able to remember that this is about the child. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's not about who the teacher is or of course, the services, it's going to matter, but it's not who's going to be giving the services. It's about the child. What do they need? What is their most deep need that they have in the school, or not just in school, in life? And parents know your kids the best. And so I still truly believe that the parents are still the best advocates.
Oh, yeah.
But
they don't know everything. That's where someone like you or I come in going, hi, this is not an IDEA law. This is an ADA law.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, parents don't know the difference between the two, and they shouldn't have to.
They don't. I was actually before, that's why I was a little late, and I apologize. But I was on the phone with a mom, and she's like, well, my son has had a 504 plan since first grade, but they haven't followed it. And I said, did you know that they're breaking, this is his civil rights. They are infringing on your kids' civil rights. And this is not okay. You could have filed a complaint with the Office of Civil Rights. You could have OCR. And I mean, there's so much that they should have been following a 504. Why not?
You need to know when you file that with. There's also that, would you file it with the Office of Civil Rights Complaints, and when do you follow up with the ADA? Because that is, if I can make it fit into that ADA versus that IDEA Act, I will put it in ADA every day of the week.
Yeah, it will be a lot more precise, if you want to say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that these conversations, like just exactly what we're talking right now, you and me, for the majority of the parents that are listening, they have no idea what it is that we're talking about. What is a DEA? What is ADA? What's Office of Civil Rights? What is OCR? There's so many. It is so much. It's so much to know as a parent, that while you're going through this with your complex kid, right? It is just so much.
And knowing what therapies you need to have them in, knowing which, like I've talked to a few of my friends who are dance studio owners going, y'all have got yourself in a deep situation. And they're like, why? And I'm like, because you have inclusive policies on your website. You just tripped the ADA because you agreed to go under ADA with that inclusive deal. It's not just about the looking cool. And they're like, well, if I can't work with the autistic kid, I can't work with the autistic kid. But you just said you were inclusive. The ADA is not going to care.
Nope. No,
And
inclusivity and inclusion.
but they're small enough and they do things that's like, if you guys would like to, and I've told a few studios around here, y'all can just drop your inclusive statement here about you work with autistic kids and send them to us, and you won't be breaking the law.
That's awful. I know you guys go through a lot of that, and even I think that is definitely something that can be put in as ADA, right? I think.
Yeah, so it's questionable. If you don't have that, oh, look at us, we're doing the woke inclusive language, because they have so few employees, they don't fall under ADA. But
Okay.
though that can change, like in California, they don't care. You've opened it up to the public, you fall under ADA. In Texas, they don't care. You opened it up to the public, you fall under ADA.
That's why I was like, what are
becomes,
you talking about? Because here you totally could. Yeah. And I am in California.
but
So.
Colorado follows the federal deal for businesses and sees dance studios as a business. And because most dance studios do not have the mandatory, because they put everyone as 1099s and not W-2s, they don't look like they have the employees they have.
Okay.
But that's where advocates come in, because we get way too in the weeds on this and can tell parents, hi, you do know XYZ exists even outside the school system.
Yes. Yeah.
I know a lot.
I was just sorry. I always interrupt you, Amanda. I'm sorry about that. But I was going through this class, one of the classes, and I was dissecting my son's IEP. And the way, like, of course, and here I am, right? Like, I am now an advocate. I've been an advocate for my child for all this time. I thought that I knew what I was doing. And I was like, oh my gosh, this IEP is like sealed and shut and it's so good. And then I was taking the class. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at all these things that I missed that are here. So I've been making a list of everything for when the school year starts, so we can change a few things. And sometimes it's just language. It's language. Or it is like present levels. People don't look at present levels. They're always looking at the goals, but they forget to look at present levels. And present levels are usually like, they're such a cute kid. We're so happy. There is nothing about actual present levels when you're looking at those on the IEP. So there's so many things that a parent can overlook. Even me. I overlooked a lot of these things because you have those feelings. You are involved. You are deeply involved. So it's hard to take a step back and actually look at it objectively sometimes.
See, I was the parent, and I think I've told you this before. Leta has never had an IEP. We got to the IEP meeting just so that they would deny everything she needed, and I had it written down so I could take it to the insurance and go, hi, they denied everything. And our insurance was like, well, then we've got to do it. How does 5 days a week speech sound?
That's awesome.
How does 5 days a week? Oh, she's laughing because I was about ready to kill. She was in Montessori preschool, but they were using the public school system's special needs stuff. And I was about ready to kill her teacher because her teacher was like getting very upset during the whole thing. And I'm like, if you get them to agree to anything, I am going to kill you. You want to say?
Fun. I still have fun remembering the whole bad therapist. Went to go talk to my teacher, and they went away from all the children, and they went to a private room, and suddenly she came out with a bloody nose, and they needed a tissue. And somewhat probably a concussion.
That was a private ABA therapist who was not trained for Montessori and came into, how Montessori is possibly. They're very child-led, and this therapist came in and was like, the 3-year-old Leta, who had just been diagnosed with autism, needed to sit for 15 minutes straight. If she wasn't sitting, someone needed to physically hold her down because she was very old style ABA. And her Montessori teacher did not appreciate this.
Wow.
We had her in ABA for 5 weeks because that was the only ABA clinics around. And I called her developmental ped, and I'm like, Frank, you got 2 choices. You either cancel this authorization. So it's coming from you, the doctor, and not me, the parent. So I'm not the bad guy, or you're bailing me out of jail today. Which one do you want to do? And when I was describing what the stuff was, because they also wouldn't let me come back with her. And he's like, well, will you let me, the developmental ped, come in? And her ABA told him that he was a developmental pediatrician and could not understand what ABA therapy was.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
It was not the first. I have had so many ABA therapists say that. And I'm like, I don't think you understand. The doctor can then say no to you.
Well, plus the
Oh
least
my
job I had
gosh.
to bail out my teacher.
The
Ugh.
therapist just walked into a door. That is what all the staff continues to say, is the therapist just accidentally walked into a door.
Is that why she had to somewhat get surgery for her nose?
She didn't. You kind of remember
What?
it slightly differently.
She said it like that.
You don't tell a Montessori teacher how to run her classroom. Leta's Montessori teacher was very protective, especially since girls and boys have different standards for what aggressive is.
Uh-huh. Yeah, for sure. They have different strengths also.
Yeah, but
He tried to throw a brick.
one of the
Emphasis on tried.
boys in Leta's class was throwing things like trucks and bricks and stuff at kids. The school systems group said, oh, he's not aggressive. That's just being a boy. Leta was having meltdowns. Of course, she got labeled with aggressiveness, because in girls, meltdowns is aggressive.
That's
And
ridiculous.
her Montessori teacher was at wit's end going, I just need to communicate to her. She doesn't understand what I'm saying. I need her to understand that I'm not being mean, asking her to go to the bathroom. I need her to understand I'm not being a meanie asking her to wash her hands, but I don't want to force her to do these things because that's wrong. But how do we communicate with her? Which school system was not used to a teacher coming in going, I need to figure out how I, the teacher, can communicate with the child.
I mean, so she was at a Montessori school?
She was at a Montessori school, but yeah. So for the first 2 years of school, she was at a Montessori, and it was Florida. So they had the pre-K, K voucher system going on, where all the kids who should have been over at the school system were coming over to the Montessori school, which meant the school system's special education department was in the Montessori school. And a lot of parents don't understand that. Once your private school takes any help from the state, your
Then
insurance company
it
is
doesn't
going
matter.
to see that as your, but that was also why she couldn't go to the afternoon class, because we convinced our insurance company, look, she's just in the morning class. There is no tax dollars coming in the morning class. But it's all about that language, and it's about figuring out. And Florida,
it is.
Yeah. Florida
It
was very
is.
clear to our Montessori teacher. Leta had no expressive and receptive. She was nonverbal. And they're like, well, until she has that, we can't help her over here. You need to drop her off at the front door of the elementary school next door. And her Montessori teacher's like, you want me to drop a 3-year-old off who has no verbal skills and have them find their way? No.
No. Yeah.
And I'm like, I wish you were the teacher for every single one of my cases, because you're more.
You know, the interesting thing is that, you went through this with a girl, and girls are not like, I think, is it 70-30 that boys over girls with autism?
Yeah.
I think that's the percentage. It is. And I never thought of it because I have a son, so it's different. I do have a daughter too, but I never thought of it as the difference that you were talking about. Like, behaviors in a girl is looked upon as aggressiveness, as, in a different light. Then you have the boys, right? You have the boys who are just boys. I never thought of it that way, the way that you put it. So
Yeah. Neither had her Montessori teacher, but I'd been an advocate and doing this for so long. I was like, yeah, could have seen that coming. And she's like, is that why you told me not to mark she has meltdowns? Because I'm like, this is how you need to fill out the form. And she's like, no, I'm going to be honest.
Well,
Yeah,
why
honesty
do
is-
we the Montessori was better than the one in New Mexico that kept losing me on every field trip.
There's a reason she's homeschooled is her next private preschool or her private kindergarten kept losing her on field
A
trips.
magician had to babysit me once because they left me on stage while I was being used for a little performance good girl on stage, and they left right before the performance ended and forgot the child on stage. I was
Oh, man.
taken by the cop station in New Mexico a lot. I gave him sugar.
I may
Sugar.
have complained. Well, the deputies knew her. So when they got her, I got a phone call going,
Oh.
so we took Leta to go get soda and funnel cakes and everything you say she can't have. And I'm like, so you have her for a few hours until she crashes, right?
Uh,
I mean, that definitely seems like their problem at that point. And they're like, but she
Like,
got left
their-
behind and
yes.
we're waiting for her school to notice that she got left behind.
oh my gosh.
I, the mom, did not have to get mad at the school. The deputies were perfectly fine. And I'm like, I would do the advocacy thing and go, how did you lose my child? But when the sheriff is yelling at you, I feel like I should just be nice and not yell at you at this point.
Sometimes that's what we need to do is just be a little quiet, I guess.
But I
And
think
don't forget the multiple times they lost me in the museum in New Mexico. I got to see the background and the back and all the bones.
she did get, it was a overcrowded kindergarten class. They had 35 kids in her kindergarten, private kindergarten class,
Oh man.
which is too much.
Oh man.
Kiddo, back to,
Yes.
but I think
yes.
one of the things with you've been there, which is something that a lot of the advocates, by the time it gets to my desk, someone has advocated for the parents. They haven't been there. They don't understand things that I think a parent picks up just naturally. I think some of mine I
Yeah.
picked up because I'd been through it myself, but having gone through the advocacy stuff now, are you kind of like, well, some of this should be like second nature.
Yeah. Yeah. It's different. Like it just, you have to go through it. That's the thing, right? You have to go through it to understand. So it's not that easy.
I know
But,
when we're discussing some of the accommodations that we've had to ask for Leta, shocks advocates going,
Mhm.
I would have never thought that needed to be in her accommodations. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, this needs to be in there. Like, she's
Yeah.
autistic. If you ask her to look you in the eyes, and I will come in with the papers going, hi, we have 15 papers currently saying if she's looking you in the eye, she's not listening to you.
But it's so true. Like we were talking in one of those classes, we were talking about accommodations, and like there are so many different types of accommodations out there, right? And I think that it's important to know that the difference between accommodations and modifications. And I think that a lot of people get those wrong also. But
Oh yeah, especially
the-
teachers.
Yes, even teachers, they get it wrong. But there are so many accommodations that can be made to really allow the kids to progress, right? Instead of modifying things and having to go through that when they're really, really struggling. So I it's been super fun going through all this stuff, and I have loved it, and I'm ready because I cannot wait to I don't want to say it like stick it to them or anything like that, but it's like, okay, let's look at this. Like, if you are in special education, you should know a little bit more than what you're putting in here. One of the moms sent me the IEP and the assessment, and it was 3 pages long. And I'm like, what? No. Drake's new IEP is, so the IEP alone is, I think, 89 pages. No, 89 pages for the assessment. That was the assessment alone. And then you have the FBA, and then you have the BIP, and then you have, I mean, it comes out to be like 150 pages of, just documentation for my son. And we just did his triennial, And that's what we came up with. Like, that's like close to 150 pages. And they really did a good job. And I think that they did a good job because they pushed. I pushed. And what makes me sad, Amanda, a lot of times is that the parents don't know that they can push. This lady this morning, she's like, I didn't think that, like, I thought that I was bugging them when I was bringing up the 504. I thought that I was just bugging the school and I didn't want to bug them. And I'm like, girl, like, this is, and she's like, oh my gosh, now that you talk about it like that, like, now that you told me that, like, I could have gone in there and demanded so much more. And that's exactly right. A lot of parents, they have no idea. They just go with what is given to them. Here you go. Okay, let me sign. And I'm done.
And I'll go back to her Montessori teacher because we were sitting there, and because Lita was nonverbal, she couldn't be tested by the school for autism. And her Montessori teacher's like, but she has a medical assessment. And I had to explain to Kat right then and there going, but that's not accepted by the school district.
Yeah.
And she was
crazy,
like,
huh?
but it should be. And the head of special education looked at her and went, why would we trust a doctor to make an assessment of autism? And there are legally two different autisms in this country, which I have to explain to parents because my number one question is, do they have educational autism or medical autism, or do they have both?
Isn't it crazy?
And parents are looking at me going, isn't it like
Isn't
the
it the
same thing?
same?
And I'm like,
Isn't
no.
it? Isn't it?
Educational autism is a teacher has made a medical diagnosis.
Yeah.
And then medical autism is even questionable if your general prac made the diagnosis. It does not count. It counts as an educational diagnosis, not a medical diagnosis. And then I have to tell them, you are aware of these other physical issues that go with autism. And they're like, wait, there are other issues?
Yeah.
I'm like, so the teacher felt like for boys, it's something like 89% of boys will just develop grand mal seizures.
Oh my gosh.
And
It's crazy how these
glad
things.
to be a girl.
Yeah, she's like, I'm glad to be a girl. Girls don't tend to develop grand mal, but she's been yelled at for not paying attention during silent seizures.
You know what? Having less rights is better than having grand mal. I feel bad for boys.
I feel bad for boys. Don't feel too bad for them, Lita. Don't feel too
grand
bad
mals
for them.
Yeah, grand mals are bad though.
Oh no, I mean, yes, I meant it in another way.
Yeah. Oh, I know. But she's had teachers and even dance teachers come out and describe why she wasn't paying attention. And I'm like, and going, well, I punished her for this. And I'm like, did I mention her silent seizures? Because I thought I mentioned them. And they're like, well, she just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
And I've dealt
remember
with
you told me
parents
about
where they're
that,
like,
and I was so surprised.
I've had kids, especially in the dance studio now, or even through advocacy, we'll be in a meeting and I'll look at a kid and go, that's a silent seizure. And the parent's like, no, they're just off in their own world. And I'm like, you need to get yourself to a neurologist. And they're like, well, just because they're zoning out.
Yeah. Sometimes people don't. And that's the thing, right? So we did an EEG, a 24-hour EEG. And we thought that maybe because TBR1 can have seizures, but he didn't. So we were lucky that way. But I know that a lot of times kids will just have them. And most of the time, unless you go to the children's hospital or you get those tested, you're not going to know. You're just not going to know.
Oh, you're not. And a lot of parents, they get that diagnosis and then they're just kind of tossed aside. And it's not the parent's fault.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, you know this as much as I do. We were lucky. We have always been great friends with her behavioral psychiatrist, with her developmental peds, with her neurologist. Her pediatrician and I had discussions that involved me going, you are explaining why she's having this at her next appointment.
Realize that my mic wasn't on when I said I got bribed with coffee at 1.5, right?
Her pediatrician was giving her the summer, those mini frappuccinos. Her pediatrician was giving my child mini frappuccinos on Saturday. And I'm like, you are explaining this to your nurse practitioner the next time we are in for
Oh my gosh.
because that is not coming back on mommy. That is going on the pediatrician because
Yes,
to
it's
explain
not
it.
me. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
her developmental ped, and I also had that discussion on something where I'm like, you get to explain this to the pediatrician. It is not my fault. I am innocent here. And he's like, you're standing right there. And I'm like, yeah, but see, I'm just mom in this situation, not with my
Yes.
PhD. You're the neurodevelopmental pediatrician. You get to be the one who gets yelled at.
You know, one thing I was thinking when you were talking about developmental pediatrician, Amanda, and this is something that we go into with the Thrive program, is the teamwork, right? Like when you know that doctor is on your side and not against you, you feel a type of security that is unheard of. Right? It's like, okay, I can trust because they're listening to me. And that's one of the things that we talk about. How do you know to have a good team? How do you know to have a good developmental pediatrician? How do you know that you have a good speech therapist? How do you know these things? You know? So those are all very important things that need to be looked at when you when you're dealing with multiple providers. It's important to know that
knowing
they're
you
on
can
your
walk
side
away.
and that they know your child. Yeah.
Yeah. And being, because I've known through some of my advocacy work, I'm like, you can walk away. This provider's not working for you. We can get you a new provider. And they're like, wait, I have the right to walk away from the therapist who's not working well with my child.
Yeah.
To wrap this up, I don't think enough parents
ahead.
understand how important advocates are, because we know we have to be that jack of all trades. We have to know what's going on with everything.
Yes.
And your team is really important, and having an advocate on your side who knows what team you need, because you wind up sometimes doing more than the IEPs and the vitals. You wind up being the one saying that neurologist isn't working for you.
Yes.
Switching, I've actually had to talk to people about switching their oncologist.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Sometimes things, like I was saying, there's so much to this, right? There's just so much to this that it's overwhelming. Parents get overwhelmed by it. And sometimes it takes that one person to come in and just say, listen, tell me what's going on. Okay, this is what's going on. Okay, these are the steps you're going to take in the next 30 to 60 days. And you're going to feel better about this because you're taking these steps. And that is what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to do for parents. And then teaching how do you create that team? How do you go about getting assessment through the government? Like, how do you get help? How do you get insurance companies to freaking pay for something? Those are the things that we talk about. And because it is overwhelming, you don't know. You don't know. You don't know what you don't know either.
No.
A lot of times you could, if you knew, you would be getting other things. So it's just, you don't know what you don't know. But yeah.
And you don't know how to properly.
Advocates are necessary. Like, they're needed. Not necessarily just to take you, it's not necessarily just for the IEP. I feel like for me, it's all encompassed. Like, it is something that I'm going to take my families that I work with from here to helping them become that advocate for their kids.
Well, I know one of the things I have to teach a lot of our families is they don't know who signs their authorizations. And I'm like, in the military, there is a nurse who does all that for all the doctors. Find out who that is. Find out where their favorite coffee shop is. Find out what their favorite
drop off a coffee. Yes.
And the parents are like,
No,
that
there's
am I
no
allowed to do
bribes.
that?
There's no bribing.
It's not bribing. Legally, it is not bribing if you bring coffee or cookies. I highly suggest it for your
Yeah.
developmental pediatrician, your neurologist, whoever is the toppity
Yeah.
tippity top of your team. Because it is never
Yes.
going to be your general practitioner. The number,
Correct.
and I have loved all of Leta's general pracs, but
Wait a minute.
They've
They're
been-
the
It's
ones
not them.
supposed to be getting bribes and coffee? Then why was I the one getting bribes and coffee?
because we were all trying to have nice, boring Saturday morning talks, not about you at all, because I was good friends with your pediatrician. We were having our Let's Geek Out About Papers Club, and the 1-year-old was being, toddler, and we needed you to sit still. Here, have a mini frappuccino during the summer,
Have a
mini
little bit.
frappuccinos.
Yes. Yeah.
But
There you go.
that team is so important, and there should be an advocate
It is.
on each team. And
It
a
is,
lot of doctors'
sure.
offices, I know TRICARE has advocates, but people don't know they have them.
No. And I think that you have to be careful where you're getting those advocates from also, because they can be
I call them
linked to other things.
I call them the TRICARE advocates, but they're not. They're actual uniformed military personnel.
Oh, okay.
It's
Okay,
just
there you
easier to
go.
explain to the
See?
parents as their TRICARE advocates,
Yes.
but they are
Yes.
actual civilians and uniformed military personnel
good.
whose entire job is to go yell at TRICARE to get you what you need.
Oh, good. Okay. Then I like those people. Then I like them. So they're
yeah.
okay.
And I know them across the country because I have to work with them. And you will see SESs, which are equivalent to 1-star, 2-star generals, just go off on even chains of command. Why are you not giving this kid a day off to go to his kid's medical appointments? They're yelling at TRICARE. They're great at yelling at everyone for you. It's like they took drill sergeants and put them dealing with the healthcare system.
Okay, we have 52
Yeah.
minutes. We should probably wrap this up.
But
She's
even
ready.
that, I think
She's ready to go.
there should be someone in every doctor's office that they can call and go
Yes.
get them, because the advocates, like I said, I call them the TRICARE advocates. They'll go to IEP meetings with you and they will bring Jag along.
That's good.
And Jag,
I mean, sometimes that's what you need to have. Like, it is,
Yeah.
because most people don't know. They don't know.
no. And
So-
that's where I'm like, I think a lot of people who are possibly listening to this are like, well, I have my IEP under control. I don't need an advocate. You need someone who knows where all the resources are, and an advocate does.
I will tell you this. I can tell you something that will shock people. If your IEP is less than 10 pages, that's not good. Just want you to know that. But that's just
And I
Yeah.
have seen IEPs that were 1 page long, and I'm like,
yes. Yep.
Okay.
This is a problem.
53 minutes.
She's like, we are at 53 minutes.
All right. Okay.
She is.
You people
Thank you
don't
for
want
having
it.
me again. This is fun.
We'll
Leta,
have to have
we're
you back on.
leaving.
Yes, we have to
Again,
have
I'll come back whenever you want me.
to do the second half of your ballet story at some point.
Oh, the
Michelle.
dance. Yes. Oh my gosh. I was telling my daughter that the other day. So yes, we'll come back.
Yeah.
So
Well, we'll
Bye,
let you
Leta.
go. Have fun
Bye,
today.
Amanda.
Bye.
thank you. So good to see you.
Thanks for sticking around to the end of the podcast. Thanks, Michelle, for being an amazing guest as always. Once more, you know how to get a hold of me to come back on the on the show for another episode. I wanted to once more mention that Leta's nonprofit dance studio, Autistic Wings Dance Company in Colorado Springs, is struggling for money right now. I know times are tough for everyone. We are looking for 140 people to agree to donate just $20 a month to keep the studio afloat. We are a nonprofit, so that $20 donation would be tax deductible. We're also looking for businesses to partner with, not just to take a check from, not just a grant check that's here for 1 year and gone the next. We're looking for true partnerships where we can co-brand, where we can work together. If you're in the Colorado Springs area and you're a small business or a larger business, we have some business partnerships we're offering. They include Leta coming to your organization or your business and doing like a local celebrity tap thingy, and then, whatever else you want to do with that. And if you bark, Jack, we're trying really hard to keep the doors open. We cannot increase the money in order to keep the doors open because our dancers could not afford it. Times are really tough, and a lot of these parents, they're a single parent. Jack Elvis.
Well, thank you for watching the podcast, and please subscribe, and also look at that adorable paper. So if you want to subscribe for it, and also please leave a like, and don't forget, if you subscribe to our stuff, you won't miss any of our new podcast stuffies. And also, did you see that adorable paper? Don't you like it?